Releasing their 2022 crime report. Data shows shootings were at an all-time high last year, with the majority of the crime in 3 Seattle City neighborhoods: the Chinatown International District, Brighton, and Northgate. KOMO's Hannah Knowles is asking residents if they feel safe in this city and what changes they would like to see elected officials make.
Here in the city of Seattle, overall crime is up 4% from 2022 to 2021. One of the big findings in this 22-page report, gun violence at an all-time high with 739 incidents citywide.
I live in Central District and it's awful over there. We hear gun shooting all the time. There's people living in their cars, trash all over the place, needles everywhere.
Alarming numbers from the Seattle Police Department. 2022, the highest rate of crime on city record in 15 years.
Well, do you feel safe in Seattle?
No.
And why is that?
There's just too much going on the streets.
Most of the time. It's kind of living in the city. Unfortunately, a part of that.
I think it has gotten better, but I will say that there's like a hardcore drug problem.
As you can see on this chart, 2021 was the previous all-time high, followed by 2020. Talking to people today, a common concern, gun violence.
I think there's always been a lot of shootings. Generally, I feel safe in the area. I think our police could do a better job of actually protecting and serving instead of just reacting and serving.
52 total homicides in all of 2022, the second highest on record, just shy of 2020. That year, the city saw 53 homicides. What do you think would fix it?
We need some strong leadership, and we don't have it. And I thought we would have it with the mayor. I voted for him, I believed in him, and I don't see anything happening.
More outreach, obviously, would really help. Maybe not letting them fester the way that they have. They need help. It's a tough spot to be in. It's a tough place to get out of.
Also detailed in the report, the top public safety concerns in 2022, taking the top spot, property crime, followed by police capacity and homelessness. In Seattle, Hannah Knowles, KOMO News.
Well, hi there, Molly. You know, the crime stats, they are alarming. And frankly, it really doesn't surprise many people. It is why so many are worried about safety. And let me tell you, the chief knows it.
2021 was actually our highest year of crime. And to see us about 4% over was one of those things that you're going to focus on. Just natural as a chief, like you want to see that decrease. You want to see, like, us making progress.
But the progress isn't fast enough. Those who live, work, and even visit Seattle don't need SPD's new crime analysis to know violent crime is way up. They live it. They know shots fired were at an all-time high in 2022.
And the CID was such a huge, drastic change in the increased amount of shootings that happened year over year. That's one of the most disturbing things. But a lot of that was driven in the homeless, nexus.
The CID, the Chinatown International District, had the highest number of shootings in the city last year.
People don't want to wait a year or 6 months. They want it today.
I think over the last 5 months, we're seeing a good trend. But that doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. We want to make sure that we continue to still stay focused on what our goal is, and that is really to make sure that this city is safe.
Despite the highest violent crime rate in 15 years, the chief is honing in on the last quarter, crime trending down. He says it's because of identifying hotspots such as the CID, more police visibility, curbing homelessness, targeting drug and stolen property trafficking, and getting guns off the street. But for Jeremy Chang, who just opened a business in the CID, he feels compelled to protect himself and his employees.
I feel like I need to be armed in a certain way. So my store does have, like a baton for my employees. I did tell them, hey, only use it when you feel like your life is threatened, because it is dangerous.
That's a big concern, because we obviously don't want people to take matters in their own hands.
A primetime moment for President Biden tonight. A live look over the U.S. Capitol, where President Biden just finished his second State of the Union address about 15 minutes ago. This time, the high-stakes speech taking place in a divided Congress. Here we see him walking into the House chamber, now under Republican control. One major theme here on his agenda is to court GOP lawmakers on working together instead of fighting. It comes as negotiations are deadlocked in Congress on whether to raise the debt ceiling.
I think the people sent us a clear message. Fighting for the sake of fighting, power for the sake of power, conflict for the sake of conflict gets us nowhere. That's always been my vision of our country, and I know it's many of yours. To restore the soul of this nation, to rebuild the backbone of America, America's middle class, and to unite the country.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders delivering tonight's Republican response, a former press secretary under President Trump. Tonight, Sanders speaks on behalf of the entire GOP. We're going to show you a live look now at the State House in Little Rock, Arkansas, where she is supposed to speak at any minute now. She's expected to make the case that Republicans are now in positions to hold the Biden administration accountable, arguing that Biden is not defending the southern border and not defending the American people. We, of course, right here at the live desk are watching for that response to start any moment now. Meantime, former President Donald Trump, the lone official 2024 Republican candidate, also sharing his thoughts tonight, targeting President Biden's economic performance, saying on Truth Social within the last 60 minutes, quote, he talks about inflation coming down, but it was 1.2% under Trump, so he must mean coming down from 9.1%, a country killer. And speaking of 2024 now, many experts seeing tonight's address as an unofficial starting point to Biden's expected campaign to seek a second term in office.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.